Welcome to Mysteries to Die For, and this toe tag. I am TG Wolff, and I'm here with Jack, my piano player and producer. This is normally a podcast where we combine storytelling with the original music to put you at the heart of a mystery. But today is a bonus episode that we call a toe tag. It's the first chapter from a fresh release in the mystery, crime, or thriller genre. And today's featured release is Rented Grave by Charles Philipp Martin. All right, we are going to jump into this, but I am putting a disclaimer here. This story is set in Hong Kong, and so there are words that are Chinese or names of, districts. I'm not even going to pretend that I'm going to pronounce them correctly, so I'm just going to pre-apologize. And hopefully everybody who knows how to pronounce these words will just laugh along with me. And those of you who don't know how to pronounce the words, well, then I'm doing exactly right. Chapter 1. Yau Mei Te District, Hong Kong, Friday, 7:31 p.m. It was not supposed to be like this. Again, the words come back to Horace Yang, persistent as the black cat he kicks in the alley by his home, that wretched bag of fur that returns nightly to beg for what Horace doesn't have. The words come back, like the blotch on his toe, a mustard-colored rot that vanishes with a touch of rice vinegar, only to bloom again when it dries. He banishes the words from his mind, but they return. It was not supposed to be like this. They return when he awakens in his flat, which seems to shrink year by year, and again when he takes the day's work orders and prepares the day's appointments. It was not supposed to be like this. It was supposed to be different. The words remain after other words are forgotten. They remain after he answers a question from his son, a boy without guile and without future. At night they keep him company in bed while he counts the ways that life has thwarted him. And now they return in full voice as he clutches a knife bought in haste to kill a man. There should have been time to plan, time to choose the weapon and the place, perhaps even a minute to tell Mo what he thought of him first. That would have felt good, might have eased the stress. That was how it was supposed to be. But for Horace, things are never as they're supposed to be. It should be dark, but darkness, like silence, is alien to Mongkok. The faint glow washes in from the lamps on Temple Street. Filthy and forgotten windows at the back of the restaurant shed their anemic light on crates full of rotting choy sum. Horace approaches the dormant limousine, adding a few inches to his stride to speed things up. Given more time, he could have taken control and not had to sneak around. Why is it that people like him, who have the best minds and the keenest ambition, are the ones who can never get control? One last look around. Except for Horace, the alley is empty. No one is passing on Temple Street behind him or on Wusung Street at the far end. If it's to happen, it must happen now. Horace grabs the handle and throws the door wide open to reveal a small figure in the glint of the dome light. Who? The man stares up in confusion. He drives the knife into the man's chest. They both gasp. Up to this moment, Horace has thought only of himself, only of his need for cover, for speed, for getting the thing done and getting away. And of course, his resentment at how things have turned out. Now, the deed done, he pauses to look at the man. The wrong man, not Mo Tun. A stranger lies on the seat, eyes rigid in horror and pain. And then Horace sees what he hasn't allowed himself to see till now. Next to the dead man, another pair of eyes. Dobie is waiting at the curb. Horace wrenches open the van door and shoves the boy through, then scrambles in behind him. The boy, maybe 10 or 11, is wearing a blue sweater over a white shirt and gray flannel trousers. He clutches a blue nylon backpack. "Let me go!" the boy shouts, bucking against Horace's grip. "Drive," says Horace. Toby stares at the boy, whose spectacles have been knocked askew by Horace's shove. "Who's that?" says Dobie. "Don't ask questions, just drive." Dobie starts the engine and gets rolling. The plan, such as it is, entails easing into the Kunlun night rush, drawing as little attention as possible to the nondescript commercial van. The boy leaps up from the seat and grips Dobie's shoulder. "Stop here! I'm getting out!" Startled, Dobie slams on the brakes. A pedestrian glances at their van. "Ignore the boy," shouts Horace. Then in a softer voice, "Just drive, but be careful." This is bad. A passenger did not figure into the escape plan. And why were the brakes so damn loud? The van turns a corner and, for a moment, Horace relishes the feel of being on the move, away from where it happened. The feeling lasts 9 seconds, at which time his cell phone chirps. He views the caller ID. Not now. Any other time, but not now. He presses the green button but says nothing. Maybe if he doesn't speak, the person will go away. "Great Fortune Property Management?" A man's voice. Horace holds his breath and then sighs. "Yes." The boy interrupts. "Stop now," he cries, kicking the back of Dobie's seat for emphasis. Dobie jerks his head around. "Watch the road," snaps Horace, covering the phone's mouthpiece. He grabs the boy by the collar and replaces the phone to his ear. "We got a leak," says the caller. "Chonglok building, 9th floor men's room. It's coming from under one of the sinks and it's pretty much all over the floor now." "I see," Horace says. The boy shouts again, "I want to go home." Horace recoils from the noise. "Can you send someone tonight?" the caller says. "Honestly, I don't like the look of this." Horace closes his eyes and tries to think, but opens them again to keep an eye on the boy and Dobie. "I'll do what I can," he says. "Your name?" "Eddie Loom, facilities manager. Use this number." The call ends. "You can't do this," screams the boy, standing up. "I don't know you. Let me out of this stupid truck now. It smells like cuttlefish." The boy thrashes till he frees himself. He kicks the front seat again. Dobie brings his seat forward with a squeak and a lurch. "What are you doing?" says Horace. "Giving him more room," Dobie says. "Never mind that," to the boy. "And you, stop kicking." "Where are we going?" asked Dobie, eyes on the road as instructed. "Just drive." Horace presses a speed dial number, dimly aware of the sound of his own grinding teeth in the earpiece. "Ming Hang," answers a woman. "Horace Yang, Great Fortune. Can you spare a plumber? We've got an emergency at the Chonglok building. Water leak." "Now?" "No way," she says. "All my guys are working overtime." The boy interrupts. "Where are you taking me?" Horace shushes the boy again, then speaks to the woman on the line. "I just need one guy to take a look," Horace says. "Maybe do a temporary fix." "I'm not authorized to release anyone. Sorry, we're flat out," she says. "You know about the big disco project in Simshai-Su?" Horace cuts off the phone and dials a second number, noticing as he does a red smear on his hand, another on his jacket cuff, a crimson sunburst on his shoe. The plan was to wipe off in the alley before getting into the van, but the boy made that impossible. He fumbles through his pockets for tissues, but they're missing. He manages to locate a pack just as his call goes through. "Wei? Stanley, it's Horace." "Who?" "Horace Yang. I'm managing Chonglok." He pulls out a tissue and wipes the worst of the blood off his hand. "And?" "I need a plumber. We have a bathroom leak. Min Hang says they can't release anyone." "No surprise," Stanley says. "They're all on the Great Wall Disco job." "Can't one of them take off for a night?" He dangles the bloody tissue from 2 fingers. Where to dump it? "They've got to get the interior walls in by Qingming." "I don't think so." Horace tries to concoct an argument that will persuade Stanley, but his attention scatters as the van lurches to a halt. "Why are we stopping?" Horace asks Dobie. "There's a policeman in the road." "What?" Stanley's voice cracks in the earpiece. "Did you say something?" No. Oh, hold on." Horace squints out the window, nose to the glass. He can just make out the figure of a police constable standing at the junction of Austin Road and Temple Street. "What's that cop doing?" Horace says. Slowly, he palms the bloody tissue and slips it into his jacket pocket. "I don't know," says Dobie. "Hello?" says Stanley. "Please, 1 minute," Horace says into the phone, barely aware that he's speaking. The van creeps to the intersection. No blockade, no torches, no radios. A traffic constable is directing cars past an open sewer. I was this close to a policeman. Horace shakes his head, clears his throat, and speaks into the phone. "Oh, sorry, just a traffic problem. What should I do?" "Well, you could call the contractor. Maybe he could spare one. I doubt it, though." Horace sighs again. "Give me the number." He wipes his finger on his jacket. It'll have to be thrown away in the harbor anyway. And he dials a hastily memorized number. 5 minutes later, it's taken care of. As Stanley predicted, the contractor can't spare anyone, but he's recommended another man who can handle the leak, albeit at overtime rates. Another memorized number, another abrupt exchange of words, and things are as they were. "You better let me go," says the boy, straightening his glasses. "My yaya will be looking for me." "Who?" says Horace, his mind juggling plumbers and work orders, not grandfathers. "Mo Tun. He's an important man. He's my yaya and my father's boss." Horace looks at the boy as if for the first time, takes in the short hair, the smooth, delicate face, the skinny frame, the navy blue acrylic pullover with a patch over the left breast, designating the child as a student at St. Peter's Secondary School, whatever that may be. He senses a shift in the earth, an earth whose precarious tilt has until tonight kept Horace struggling for a foothold. Now at last, the horizon appears to be leveling. A new plan forms in his brain, riskier than the original, but with a much bigger jackpot. "Can I do this?" He turns to Dobie. "Keep driving, but stay off Nathan Road," he says. "Is Shanghai Street all right?" "How do I know?" "Just stay off Nathan Road and Waterloo Road. Use the smaller streets." "Where are we going?" Dobie asks. "I don't know yet." "Well, I'll have to cross Waterloo Road in a minute." "Whatever, just don't go along it. Understand?" Understand was perhaps the wrong word, but Dobie would obey. All right, that is the first chapter in Rented Grave by Charles Philipp Martin. So here is my review. Rented Grave is a suspense novel. A man is dead, a boy is missing, and when it comes to the crimes, 3 men are in it to win it. Criminal, victim, and cop, but address and title doesn't necessarily tell who is who. Bottom line, Rented Grave is for you if you like gritty stories of have and have-nots with a Hong Kong flair. All right. The storytelling style of Rented Graves is one of the shining features. It's told mainly from 3 points of view, from 3 parts. We see this story unfold through the eyes of Inspector Herman Locke, who you have not met yet, overlooked worker Horace Yang, who you have met, and businessman / high flyer / criminal Mo Tun, who you've heard about. In the style of a police procedural, Locke leads a team investigating the murder of Mo Tun's chauffeur. Mo Tun has his own team focused on recovering the boy that the police do not know is missing. Horace Yang is working overtime to stay ahead of Locke and Mo while carving a path to his own golden ticket. Each character is distinct in their goal and motivation. Each is distinct in the position they hold in society, and it's depicted in enough detail that it's really easy to keep the characters straight. And that's something that I honestly struggle with more often than not. Additionally, the characters are true to their natures throughout the story. While this is identified as an Inspector Locke mystery, Locke really does share the book equally with Mo and Yang. Since the reader knows more about what's going on than Locke does, suspense really is an appropriate genre. In terms of mystery, it would be more of a how do you get away with it or how you going to catch them, more than a whodunit. I mean, obviously, you just heard the first chapter, and we know who did it. Locke, he doesn't know. The setting will be a real treat for those familiar with Hong Kong, with chapters referencing the districts. As I'm not in that category, any implied meaning behind the districts was lost on me. I did appreciate the presentations of the sights and sounds, and I thoroughly enjoyed the people's names. In the author note, Martin tells us that the Western first names used in the books were borrowed from real people. So these names and nicknames include Million Man, Ears, Dora, Eunice, and $10. Some of those were very interesting, some of them very much graphically painted pictures that, again, was easy to hold on to. There is a big cast in this book, and so I had a little bit of trouble keeping track of who was on whose team. But all in all, considering the size of the cast, this was really well put together, and it was not that much of a problem for me. The logic in this one stands up well. When we're at the back looking to the front, this story is a story of revenge. That's not a spoiler. If you go on Amazon to the bio or to the blurb, the author tells us that it's a revenge story, so no getting mad. Yang's plans set the ball into motion, which honestly you heard in the first chapter, and that results in actions and reactions that he just couldn't have anticipated. The end is especially mesmerizing. It is unconventional and unexpected. For the reader, it did tie up all the loose ends, which did make it feel satisfying, even if that same thing is not true for all of the characters. Hong Kong policeman Inspector Herman Locke was first introduced in 2011 in Martin's book Neon Panic. With the time between the releases, Rented Grave is not a sequel, but rather it's the second first book for Locke. There's no need to read the original to enjoy the suspense novel, although I do think if you enjoy Locke and you enjoy Martin's storytelling, that you should give it a try. The Rented Grave was released from Level Best and is promoted by Partners in Crime Tours. It's available on Amazon and all your favorite book retailers. Link is in the show notes. So let me introduce you to Charles Philipp Martin. He grew up in New York City's Greenwich Village in a family steeped in music and literature. After attending Columbia University and the Manhattan School of Music, Martin took off for a 6-year paid vacation in the Hong Kong Philharmonic Orchestra. While in Hong Kong, he hung up his bow and turned to writing, spending 4 years as a Sunday magazine columnist for the South China Morning Post and writing for magazines all over Southeast Asia. His weekly jazz radio show, 3 O'Clock Jump, was heard every Saturday on Hong Kong's Radio 3 for some 2 decades. Martin now lives in Seattle with his wife, Catherine. Wondering what to read after you finish Rented Grave? Partners in Crime Tours is your ultimate destination for all things mystery, crime, thriller, and cozy. Since 2011, they've been working to fill bookshelves with gripping and heart-pounding reads. Discover new mystery series and connect with other fans through Partners in Crime. Look up Partners in Crime Tours on the web or your favorite social media outlet. Links are in the show notes. And authors, whether you're looking to promote your latest thriller, discover a new mystery yourself, or connect with fans, PICT has you covered. Check out their promotion options that come with the personal intention of a dedicated coordinator. And then join us next week for Season 8, Anything But Murder, Episode 7, The Opera Dinner Club by Deborah H. Goldstein, where betrayal is our murderless crime. All right, Jack, take us out.